Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Mirror of Psychology. Please subscribe this channel for more psychology related information. Today's topic is neurons, the messengers of the brain. Have you ever wondered how our brain communicates with itself and our body? Well, it's all thanks to the special cells called neurons. Neurons are like tiny messengers in our brain, helping brain cells to communicate with each other and with the rest of our body. In fact, our brain is packed with about 100 billion of these amazing neurons. Now let's take a closer look at the different parts of a neuron. This is cell body. It is the main part of the neuron. It has nucleus that contains genetic information of the neuron. These branch-like extensions are known as dendrites. They receive signals from other neurons and transmit these signals towards the cell body. This long slender projection known as axon. Axon is also known as the nerve fiber. It carries signal away from the cell body to other neurons, muscles or glands. Axons are coated with protective layer called the myelin sheath that insulates the axon just like insulation on a wire. The gaps between the myelin sheath are known as the nodes of Ranvier. Because of this myelin sheath, the signal jumps from one node of Ranvier to the other, speeding up the signal transmission process in a neuron. At the end of the axon are small structures called axon terminus. At the axon terminus, synapses are present. Synapse is the point of contact between axon terminal of one neuron and the dendrite of the another neuron. The synapse is a place where communication between two neurons occur. Neurons communicate in the form of electrical signals at the synapse, a process known as synaptic transmission. A synapse consists of two key players, the presynaptic neuron and the postsynaptic neuron. The gap between the presynaptic and postsynaptic neurons is known as the synaptic cleft. Within the presynaptic neuron are tiny packages called synaptic vesicles packed with thousands of neurotransmitters, which are the chemical messengers of the brain. At the postsynaptic neurons, receptors are present. When an electrical signal, also known as action potential, reaches the presynaptic neuron, it causes depolarization of the presynaptic neuron, triggering the fusion of synaptic vesicles with the presynaptic membrane. This fusion releases neurotransmitters into the synaptic cleft, similar like releasing letters into a mailbox. These neurotransmitters then bind to receptors on the postsynaptic neuron. Depending on the type of neurotransmitter released, the postsynaptic neuron will either undergo depolarization, leading to generation of an action potential and further transmission of the signal, or hyperpolarization, resulting in the stoppage of the further transmission of the signal. So this is how communication between the neurons occur. Now let's understand what are these neurotransmitters. There are two types of neurotransmitters, excitatory neurotransmitter and inhibitory neurotransmitter. The job of excitatory neurotransmitter is to get the neurons excited and firing. When it arrives at the end of a neuron, it causes depolarization that generates electrical signal in the form of action potential, which signals the next neuron that it's time to get moving. Glutamate and acetylcholine are the examples of excitatory neurotransmitter. The job of inhibitory neurotransmitter is to keep things under control. It makes sure that neurons do not get too carried away with their excitement by causing hyperpolarization of the neurons, making them less likely to fire. GABA and glycine are some examples of the inhibitory neurotransmitter. So excitatory and inhibitory neurotransmitters work together to keep the brain balanced. For example, if you want to bend your arm, then the excitatory neurotransmitter such as acetylcholine will bind to the receptors on your muscle cells that will trigger a chain of reaction that leads to muscle contraction and will help in bending of the arm. It's just like flicking a switch to turn on the muscle power. On the contrary, inhibitory neurotransmitters such as glycine will ensure that the muscle does not contract too much, otherwise it can lead to muscle spasm. It regulates the signal so that your movements are smooth and controlled. There are three types of the neurons present in our brain: motor neuron, sensory neuron and the interneuron. Motor neurons are responsible for controlling movements. They receive signal from the brain and send commands to muscles, allowing us to move and perform actions. Sensory neurons, on the other hand, detect stimuli from the environment or within the body and transmit them to the brain for further processing. Interneurons act as connector between sensory neuron and the motor neuron, facilitating communication and coordination. Imagine touching a hot surface. Sensory neurons will detect the heat and transfer the message to the interneurons. The interneurons will swiftly relay this information to the motor neurons. Then the motor neurons will prompt you to withdraw your hand. All this will happen in the blink of an eye. So now whenever you think, feel or move, just remember it's all thanks to these incredible neurons working together to keep our brain and body connected. Thank you for watching the video.